Did it get any bigger? That is the question. The river season ended about a week ago, and now the dust settles, it's given me a time to reflect on my season. And it's, considering the amount of fishing I've done, I've had a fairly good season, to be fair. And one of my main aims this year was try to catch some barbel on the float. And we're in again. And it's another barbel. And steer it away from that snag. How quick is that? And I did so, and I caught some incredible fish, way into the 15-pound bracket. And to catch a fish of that size on the float is nothing short of incredible. So it's one of them things, it just goes to show, if you really want to do something, you can persevere and you can catch plenty of fish. It's just about putting the time in. When I say time is very precious to me, and I can't really do long sessions. So the float fishing side of it really come useful for me, because I was trying to nick probably 2 or 3 hours fishing max in an evening, but still try and catch some big fish. And catching them on the float was quite a task to start with, but once I got the method right, it was fantastic. And I had umpteen doubles, like I was saying earlier, up to 15 pounds in weight. So it's an incredible fish to catch. And what more can I say? There are species that traditionally most people just target them on static baits, but for me, I've really stepped away from that this year, and I've not really targeted on static baits at all. It's mainly been on the float, and to be honest with you, I've enjoyed it more. Don't get me wrong, static bait fishing has its place, but for me this year, I've concentrated on the float and I've really enjoyed it. One of the other things that I really wanted to do this year was to try and catch a few more zander. Zander is a species that I've really struggled with over the years. I have tried on a number of occasions, but to be honest with you, I've really struggled with them, and getting the tactics right took a bit of getting used to. I've tried fishing for them on the lures. I've put umpteen hours in on the lures, and I didn't do very well. I have caught on the lures, but I didn't do very well consistently. So for me, it was starting to find out tactics that was working well, and without a doubt, static bait fishing with either dead baits or little livos. When I say little livos, little tiny livos, seems to be the way forward. And again, I've had some cracking fish. I've managed to catch zander up to 12 pound 5 ounce. So I've upped my PDB yet again in another species. So that's nothing short of fantastic, really. And it's all a part of the learning curve. And I'm sure next season, when it comes round, I'm going to spend a lot more time on the zander, because they're an incredible fish. They really are a species that have captivated me. The colours of them, the way they are, how tricky they are to catch, how hard they was to understand, it's just made it more interesting for me. And I've actually got quite addicted to catching the zander, and I can't wait to have another go next season. Fishing has been very up and down this year, with the rivers very low and clear all round. Lots of rivers that I usually fish, they've actually been quite hard going. There is certain areas that are doing well, but overall the fishing has been quite slow, considering to what it was the year before and the year before that. But for me this year, like I say, my main aim this year is to catch a double on the float, which I did. So I'm over the moon with that. And also to catch a big zander. So I've done both of them. So that's my targets and personal goals actually achieved. So now I can start again and start prepping now for next season. I'm unsure how I'm going to start next season. I would like to start carping, to be fair, and see if I can catch a couple of nice river carp. But you never know, things might change from now until then. Because the barbel fishing on the float was so exciting, no doubt I'll be itching to have a go at that as soon as the season starts. But it's like fishing, it's about the variety of all different species, and that's what's keeping me quite active and quite enjoyable. The other thing, obviously, originally my YouTube videos, I was hoping to do one a week, but that's actually impossible for me to do. You don't realise how time consuming making these videos are. So this season I'm hoping to do a lot more than I did last year. Last year I didn't lose interest, but I just didn't have the time to put into making the videos, because it's not just making the videos, it's editing them, planning them out, making sure you can get a decent footage, and it's all quite hard. And sometimes you get fishing and you just get carried away with what you're doing and you completely forget about your videos, and you can't do that. If you're making a video, you do a project, and you've got to try and fulfill it. So hopefully next year I'll try and do a few more videos, but rather than promising people I'm going to do one a week, I'm going to aim at doing one a month. And I think the main idea behind doing one a month is I will have more time to get little bits of footage of different things that I've done, and we can just talk over what I've done in my previous sessions, and hopefully I can show you some good footage of the fish I've had as well. Even though the season is over, I'm still sat beside the River Trent, just watching the sunset and just watching the fish activity. Like I say, even though the season's over, there's nothing wrong with actually sitting by the water and just watching where the fish are. You'd be quite surprised what telltale signs you get from the fish, and it gives you little areas to target. And this time of year is when they're all getting ready for spawning as well. So there's a very good opportunity to try and find out where they're starting to gather. This particular area that I'm on at the minute, this is the area that I know the pike come up to and spawn. So it's quite a good area to come and watch, because you never really know what you're going to see. There's always barbel here, there's the odd carp, and there's always fish here. So it's one of them places that's just really nice to go and sit and just watch the world go by. And whilst I'm here, I'm just watching the world go by. I'm just doing a few time lapses on my spare camera, and it's just quite nice to get these sunsets. It's the time of day I absolutely love, and it's this time of day when all the animals are actually starting to come to life. The sun setting, it's just magical, it really is. And this is the sort of stuff that really gets me into fishing. It's not necessarily always all about just sitting there with a rod and catching the fish. I absolutely love being out in the wildlife and just basically watching the day go by. There's nothing better than standing or sitting near the side of a river and just watching the different wildlife. There's all sorts. Just here, for instance, there's an heron over there flying past. There's fish boiling over there. There's even been a mouse a bit further down the road. And then you get the industrial trains as well. Birds flying overhead. It's just amazing. It's a time of day that I absolutely love. Anyway, that's enough for me waffling. I'm not going to bore you with too much more now. It was just to say a big thank you to everybody that subscribed this season, and everybody that showed the support as well. It's been brilliant. The amount of private messages I've had is absolutely fantastic, and I really appreciate it. Hopefully this year I will try and get you some more footage and try and do a few more videos if I can, because last year I do feel like I let you down really. I didn't really do as much footage as I'd like to have done. But with one thing or another, with personal reasons and time and having a family, it's hard to fit it all in. So you've got to try and find a balance between your hobby, your work life and your family life. And for me, it's very much short sessions at the minute, so I just have to make the most of the time I've got. Anyway, that's all for me, folks. I'm just going to put yourself a little slideshow up now of some of my favourite captures for this year. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.